Hello there, Wolfram here, and the winner of the giveaway is in the later part of this video. The sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Actually scratch that, as I hate this placeholder which has been pulled over our heads the last 3 years now. Breath of the Wild in itself was already a mouthful for a Zelda title. With The Legend of Zelda in front of it, Breath of the Wild had 8 words in its official title. But with the sequel of added to the official placeholder for the final title, we have 11 words. What sort of monstrosity is this even? A placeholder from hell, that is what it is. And yes, it is understandable why it has stayed this way, and Bill Trinan hinted it back in 2021.
Zelda names are kind of important, those subtitles, and they start to give little bits of hints about maybe what's going to happen, but you'll just have to stay tuned and look forward to when we finally do decide to reveal it.
The title might contain some sort of spoiler, but so did every other past title, as there are hints to what the games are about. That being a specific character, or most often item or gameplay. Need examples? A Link to the Past, A Link Between Worlds, Link's Awakening, probably the biggest spoiler in the title ever, Twilight Princess, Majora's Mask, Skyward Sword, The Minish Cap, Ocarina of Time, The Wind Waker, and so on. All Zelda titles spoil something, and that is why they're not revealed at the same time as the game, but up to a year or two later in the case of 3D Zelda after the first tease. It is only that in the case of Breath of the Wild sequel, we have been stuck with a placeholder and no final title reveal since Tuesday, June 11, 2019. Over 1,111 days. 1111. The longest wait for a Zelda title which placeholder has taken multiple forms. Not only that, after the partner showcase we have no idea when we will see Breath of the Wild 2, or for that matter other Nintendo games again this year. The same goes for when we can expect a title reveal after waiting since the E3 2019 Direct bombshell. Back then, I was with Zeltic and Dr. Wily in Los Angeles for E3, but just days prior in the beginning of June, I was wearing my Breath of the Wild Link Champion tunic in front of the Nintendo building where the game was being developed and prepared for reveal. It had been 3 full years and then some since the previous Zelda release, which in 3D Zelda terms means that it's time for at least another tease or reveal at E3. It is just that since this expected reveal, far more time has passed than normally, but when it comes to the big title reveal and release of the game itself. When I saw the big announcement on June 11, I was still 26 and knew that I had a massive adventure ahead of me until the title would be revealed. I turned 27 2 days later, but by the time I was at my first Gamescom in Germany with Nintendo, our own Triforce of Europe had been to Retro Spillmessen, and there we were mourning the probable and then confirmed loss of Edeka. The last game Desmond reacted to being revealed during his last livestream was
the sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is in development! What? A sequel?
Rest in peace, friend. Can't believe it has been 3 years. The Switch Lite was revealed, and I even saw it with my own eyes at Gamescom, all before flying to Krakow, where I spent over a month reviewing Link's Awakening HD Remake and adding it to the updated Zelda timeline. The last one to date because nothing, we're still waiting. With that being said, I had a wonderful time in the real-life Zonai mines with Monster Maze before returning back home. Pokemon Sword and Shield launched with our brutally honest review series and the hope of the return of more Zelda at the Game Awards. Nothing. And the same continued throughout 2020. I had time to fly with Celtic and Dr. Wily to the US for PAX East to experience the last proper Nintendo booth to date before the pandemic struck. I turned 28 during no E3 week, and with it, no Zelda 1 year after its reveal. Waiting for the title. We endured the first 2 awful initial partner showcases until reaching September, when I got my own 1-to-1 replica of the Master Sword. Undamaged naturally. In September, we also got this upload.
Regarding the sequel, in order to make the vast world you enjoyed exploring in the original game even more impressive, the team is working hard on its development, so you'll have to wait a bit longer before we can provide more updates.
Said producer Anuma before revealing Age of Calamity, and its demo made the last partner showcase the only worthy one. We played Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, we liked it and gave the game a good score in our review, all while hoping that maybe the 2020 Game Awards would deliver. Nothing. 2021 came with the return of Nintendo Directs and Digital E3, and with it the promise,
and we should be able to bring you some new information this year.
Right before revealing Skyward Sword HD. That claim was true, but first I turned 29 2 days prior when we got our second teaser, and there's the title. Any second now, it keeps on going, nothing. Over 2 years of waiting had passed from the reveal and still no title. The longest wait for a reveal of a Zelda title was a reality. The wait for Zelda Wii U to turn into Breath of the Wild 2 very long years. Still, could be worse. The wait could have ended there, overlook that 20-second long shot of Hyrule Castle in its new position, but no, we were still here to suffer. The Switch OLED was revealed, we reviewed Skyward Sword HD, I flew to Germany, got the OLED, and was even able to experience a Wind Waker experience of my own in sunny Croatia. The launch of N64 and Ocarina of Time Switch Online was a mess, but the Game Awards 2021 gave hope. After all, we were almost in the aimed release year.
We're aiming for a 2022 release, so I hope you'll look forward to it.
Once again, nothing. At least some earlier posted patterns were discovered. Then 2022 arrived with the February reveals of 2 big open world adventures, making us at the same time lose all hope that Breath of the Wild 2 will be coming out this year. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, followed by the first open world Pokemon game, Scarlet and Violet. In fact, Majora's Mask N64 Online is the only Zelda release added on the Switch so far in 2022. The fear of a delay was right, so after we called it out for the 5th anniversary of Breath of the Wild, it happened, still in March. The sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was delayed to spring 2023, and nope, we didn't get the title revealed there either. Well, at least we're not more than 1 year away from release, but still that awful placeholder and no official title. The cancellation of E3 2022 harmed all of us both physically and digitally since Nintendo decided to do nothing in the 2 weeks. And with it, we got no early direct announcement or in-person Zelda showing or demo. Instead, another insult to us Zelda and in fact Nintendo fans. No general Nintendo Direct in the month when those other presentations aired. I have turned 30, but will be 31 when spring 2023 ends in less than 365 days from this July upload. Surprisingly, we still have no title for the 20th Zelda game, and yes, it is understandable that it might be a spoiler. But seriously Nintendo, you cannot market and sell a game without revealing the title of it beforehand. Just like in the case of the past Zelda titles we have mentioned in this video, and in those cases there were also spoilers of key items and characters in those games. So this is just silly, just like the return of your direct mini partner showcases which made 2020 even worse. This isn't 2020 but 2022, and you have again frustrated Nintendo Switch owners around the world. And despite the showing being solid, it isn't about third-party games, but what games you have in store for us, Nintendo, after September 9th. Since technically, there's only one game developed by your own studios that we know of after this date, the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild in Kyoto. We Zelda tubers and potential future Zelda tubers are still waiting and holding back videos in fear of making them irrelevant the moment the final title drops. Needless to say, it creates anxiety and pain as we are as of this upload close to the 1 year anniversary of Skyward Sword HD's release. Ultimate version of the 25th anniversary Zelda game, which highlights the great importance of storytelling and dungeons in the series. We want to be hopeful, but since the end of 2021, it has only been going downhill for us Zelda fans. With no big reveals and releases, but delays, and damn it, we deserve an upturn after accepting that we'll wait over 6 years from Breath of the Wild to its sequel. That upturn would be the reveal of the final title, which will stay with us forever and make all content made from now relevant since they include the official title that will remain with us also after the release. But here we are, soon to be 3 years and 1 month after the reveal of the game at E3 2019 on June 11th without a title. Just another layer of pain and the longest wait for the release of a new Zelda title in the over 37-year-long history of the franchise by the time we go from Breath of the Wild's launch on March 3rd, 2017 to its sequel in spring 2023. And that despite the open world and engine of the former being very much reused for the latter. In other words, I will go from being 24 when Breath of the Wild, the 19th Zelda game in the series, came out to being 30 years old if the 20th Zelda game comes out before June 13, 2023. And now I'm proud to announce that the winner of our Switch OLED Plus Game 300k subs giveaway is Jay Garnett. Congratulations! And to everyone who entered, we will host another one at 350k, perhaps with a Switch Pro launching on the same day as Zelda. Titles still pending. Still waiting, still hoping, still anticipating for the historic moment when the 20th Zelda game get its title. Now over 1111 days after its placeholder first excited us to no end. Well, that excitement is gone, and for many, also the hype. But just a Nintendo Direct ending with Zelda and a brand new 4-word or shorter combination could change this grim reality. One simple reveal that will remove the need for a release date reveal until a Zelda Direct in say January or February 2023. But where have you been or what have you gone through while waiting over 3 years for this title? I want to hear your stories in the comment section down below. And that is all, so if you haven't already, then be sure to leave a like, subscribe and press the notification bell to miss any of our upcoming Zelda sequel videos and way more in the build up to the release. Last but not least, a big thanks to all our patreon.com/CameraOnPatrons and in particular to role producer Charles Shash. you rock, and please enjoy one or both of these two awesome videos.